All right. Hello, and welcome to the iShine podcast. I am your host, Angela Lewis. I am so excited because y'all see, I have this beautiful lady with my name, but listen, she's so bad. She put an extra L in that thing, honey.
That's right.
I love it. So I am with the amazing Dr. Angella Banks, and we are here tonight. So for those of you who are tuning in, please make sure you share this broadcast out because this is a powerhouse. This is a lady that you guys need to know who she is, what she does, how you can get connected, and make sure that you follow her on everything that she does so that you can just be in the know. She's just that good, right? Kelly Bones has already came in and said hello. Hey, ladies. Hey. So, hey, Miss Kelly. How are you? Everybody come on in again. We are broadcasting on several platforms, the iShine network platform, the SheEO District, Woman Empowered. We're on YouTube. So, hey, we got a lot of people out here with a lot of eyes because Miss Banks is being honored at the SheEO District conference. And listen, excellence in wealth. And so starting there, I mean, it's really major. And before I even get into this amazing bio, because I already told her that she's so fabulous that a bio is just some words, honey. But listen, we want her to tell us who the real woman behind the name is. So, Dr. Banks, listen, you're a mogul, really, in branding and marketing. You're a philanthropist. You have your magazine, you have your academy. Yeah. I'm not even gonna tell some of the other things you're doing because I want you to break that news yourself. But you've just made an impact and you're in the Houston, Texas area. And I know that, just making connections and just letting people know. So when you were chosen for this honor, it's very well deserved. But before we even know even more of that, let's find out who is the real Dr. Angella Banks.
Why, thank you so much, Angela. And I'm so excited. Thank you so much, Kelly, and the entire SheEO district for this opportunity, as well as on the award that I'll be receiving on Saturday night. It's such an honor. And so I started with that because, again, that just speaks to who I am. I am humble. I am a servant. I know I have all the accolades and the degrees and different titles. You just kind of get like, oh, can anybody have too many titles? I felt like that at one point. But to God, I give all the glory and all the honor for the success because truly it just all started with a dream. And so again, as you stated, the Marketing and Branding Mogul, I have the doctorate in business. I specialize in the area of marketing, as well as was blessed to receive an honorary doctorate in theology. And so that was excited. And many of you all know and love the late Dr. Frederick Price. We all grew up with him, Increasing Faith. So I was able to be a part of that program with him, just changing the lives of community. I consider myself, what I say is a chameleon, which means that I can go in and out of many different areas, many different industries, territories, and literally just kind of fit whatever that need is. So I'm super excited about, and that's a little bit about me, without all of all those words and all that stuff.
Listen, anybody who's dropped Dr. Frederick K.C. Price in the name and everything, that's just a little something, that I do. Listen, that just lets you know the impact. That just lets you know the influence. And it's so good when you say about being a chameleon, but what does it take in growing up to become that? What life lessons did you learn that helped you to facilitate that kind of movement?
Well, I think when we was in the chat room in the back, you and I was actually just talking about being from Brownsville, Tennessee. That several individuals there. So if anybody know about the area, outside of the fact that it's Tina Turner, another Bush city limit, right? It's a very small, rural town outside of Memphis, Tennessee. And so again, when God gave me the vision of excellence, I'm like, there is no way. Like who are you talking to? Who's going to do this? And in what area? Like, you're giving me a national global assignment. But you asked, what did it actually take? It just took faith. and knowing that it was bigger than me. It's kind of hard for individuals because most of the times when you think about dreaming or dream, it's something that you personally desire. But I was chosen for this assignment, and it has just been the obedience that's been the number one thing. It wasn't who I knew. It wasn't my area. It wasn't how much money I had. It was literally just walking in faith and just trusting God. And as He would give me vision after vision, dream after dream, I was just obedient to go build, and I was gifted with the strategy and the business acumen and the support from other leaders within my organization to be able to keep building all of these different platforms, which now serves leaders globally.
I mean, that's so great because I mean, at the end of the day, when you talk about when I mentioned earlier about being a marketing and branding mogul, but in part of just your bio, you're an expert in business development, branding, marketing. You hold titles such as educator, business and Christian consultant, and you have the Xcellence Academy, the Xcellence Community Magazine. And so when it came to starting off with just how did you come up with excellence? What made you choose that?
Okay, well, yeah, that goes back to, so I'll tell the quick story. I'll do the short version of this. Is that I was managing Regions Bank at the time. I had moved
Mhm.
back to Tennessee, and I had a dream. And in the dream, I remember excellence and I remember women. And I was like, man, I would love to just get a refresher. Like, God, can I get a redo on the dream? But Angela, the thing is that it was so profound that it was life changing for me. It
Mhm.
happened just in that instance. And so what I did, I just started going looking on the internet that next morning after I called my best friend, who is the co-founder. I said, girl, let me tell you about this dream, which I still do that today. And so I just started looking for excellence on the internet, and I didn't
Mhm.
see anything that reflected the excellence of God. And so that is the
Mhm.
reason why many people don't know this, but the organization doesn't have the E, it starts with the X. And
Right.
so that is me and my way of dedicating excellence back to God, who gave me the vision as putting Him as the head of the organization. And again, that's the number one success, is that this is an organization, and all of my works are is committed to kingdom and to those individuals who may not know how to use marketing and branding to truly go out there and compete on a global scale. They don't
Mhm.
have the resources, they don't have the connections. And so I just continued, started from a grassroots level, and then just kept building it. Whatever I saw that a leader needed, a dreamer needed, a visionary needed, I just started building it so they wouldn't have to go through what I went through, starting from scratch. But again, having that foundation in business, corporate America, 15, 16 years in corporate America, the degrees, those things did help me, but everybody's not blessed and privileged to that. So I just wanted to make everybody's journey a little easier than mine.
And it's such a blessing because, again, here in the SheEO district, one of the things that we really want to specialize in is really giving women an opportunity to connect, to build
Yes.
those relationships. When you get into what we call the red zone, where you kind of fall off because you don't have the resources, you don't really have, people who are willing to share. You ask them a question, they're kind of very vague and kind of
Yeah.
like, go to Google or whatever. When
Yeah.
and it is something powerful about a person who wants to share their journey and share their resources. And so that's how God blesses, because you are a giver. You are someone who shares that. And, like you say, and I love, that's why I asked about excellence again, because you did brand it and market it without the E in front. Because
Mhm.
again, that's so powerful. A lot of times people don't think about certain things that make it stand out, certain things that kind of give you that little edge that somebody
Yes.
may not have. And
Yeah.
so I wanted to kind of I'm glad you shared that particular story, because it kind of gives people something to go with. Because bottom line, we all dream. And what I like about the thing that Kelly presented me with, your bio information on here, but it says I dream big. I dream on a whole nother level, And so I think for a lot of people, sometimes they can't get it. But
Yeah.
when you dream on a certain level, your expectation is that God is going to bless me, that God
Yes.
is going to give me everything that I need. And so when you lead with him, when you put him all in the midst of everything, then of course he's going to be a rewarder of those who diligently seek him.
Yes.
So
Yes. Yes.
absolutely, yes,
Yes.
ma'am. Now let's
Same
talk
here.
about these programs that you have because you've
Okay.
got some good things going on. Several pillars to power and the power leadership. So I know you're not gonna have to give us all of them, but how hard is it when you're trying to work with women in leadership to kind of give them these pillars? Do you feel like women kind of gravitate more towards leadership, or is it something that you really have to pour into them and help them to kind of develop along the way?
Well, one of the biggest thing I do when I'm doing my training is that overall question in leadership: are leaders born or made? Right? It's kind of like the signature go-to
Mhm.
question. And so my thing is that what I set out to do, and as well as women, we have our sisters in excellence. We also have our brothers in excellence. So it's a full family feel. But the biggest thing that I noticed was with individuals was just that ability. We look at the TV screen, and that's who we call a
Mhm.
leader. We look at who holds a political office, and that's who we call a leader. We look who at the White House, and that's who we call a leader. And so what was happening is I truly, and I have material workbook and a training I'll be traveling the country doing next year, which is dealing with the leadership crisis.
Mm.
So when we're looking at what happened, and I address the things that happened with COVID-19, there were leadership issues there, right? When we look at what happened in politics, those were
Mhm.
leadership issues. When we look at what's happening in our educational platform, those are leadership. So all the things are leadership. And so I truly feel the disconnect came from we only saw leaders as those who other people told us were leaders. We
Mm.
never saw within ourselves that we are the leader, and we are the ones from the grassroots level who's really going to make the impact and the change where we see it in our communities, where we see it in our families. And so there is a big disconnect there. And so that's the area that I try to address. So when we look at 7 pillars, right?
Mhm.
7 pillars of power. So we're really talking about business, education, government, right? Spiritual, family, arts and entertainment, and media. Those are the 7, the business. Those are the areas where we're really going to have impact. And so we just start addressing those from a grassroots level.
Mm. Powerful when you think about those different areas, because bottom line, again, like you say, when you're starting to look at what's going on in the world, you have to identify leaders.
Yep.
And to be honest with you, when we start looking now, it's harder to see them when you see certain things portrayed on social media. And you think that's leadership, is really not
Yeah.
leadership, true
Yeah.
leadership. And
Yeah.
so that fakeness, or that, kind of personification of leadership, that kind of, you're going towards them and you're thinking, okay, I'm going to follow them. And then they kind of disappoint you. And so a lot of people start kind of shying away, and they don't want to get involved in politics or conversations, because they feel like there's no true leadership. There's no one who's really stepping up. So for people on a everyday level, what do you suggest to them to kind of start tapping into people that they can look at as role models and leaders in the community, that they can start, connecting with, to see some changes happening?
Angela, I would tell them to go to www.excellenceinc.org. And
Y'all, it's falling across the bottom. Catch it.
that, but I don't know any other way. And the thing about it I've learned is that when you are passionate as a leader and God has called you to something, right? Whether
Mhm.
that's homeless, we know with Kelly called it to the SheEO district, you and your platforms. I was able to look at your platform, stalk your page. I like to do that when I'm doing interviews,
Mhm.
but whenever you've been called to something, when people don't get it, or when people don't see it, it becomes a pain, it becomes a burden to
Yeah.
you, right? And so again, I'm out there like, don't y'all see what's happening? And so I'm
Yeah.
screaming, but at the same time, there's a lot of individuals who do see it,
Mhm.
and they are looking for those individuals who are like-minded, those individuals who have good fruit. Those individuals are where you can research them and you can see the good reports, and you can see that they are who they say they are, the authenticity, the integrity and ethics. All of that is big. And so in a world that's so saturated in technology, and platforms where you could throw up a nice page, you can throw up a nice website, but then there's no substance there. There's no there's nothing there beyond, you know, the theatrics of it and the niceness of it. And so people, there's a hunger. I'll say it again, there's a hunger for people who are looking for authentic leaders who are truly who they say they are, and they're really out here doing the work. So I commend every leader who's currently doing the work, but I also embrace platforms such as the SheEO District and other platforms to truly just say, you know what, we're more powerful when we're together as one. We're more powerful when there's unity.
That's great. And I do believe, I agree 100% because together we can do so much more. You got to lock arms with people who believe what you believe in. You got to really kind of understand that it takes work. It's not an overnight process. And I think we're in such a microwave society that we think that you're just supposed to go boom and there it is. You know, wake up the next morning like it's all great. But there's a lot of work that needs to be done. And when you start looking at, you know, back in the day when I was growing up, you know, you had a lot of, I guess, civil rights leaders, or you had, you know, people that you could physically see that were always there. And then it kind of fell off a little bit, you know. So this is a time now, like you say, go to Xcellence, and I've got it going across the screen, but XcellenceInc.org, and that's with an X. So take the E off and go to the site and get some involved, take you some courses, find out how you can become a leadership, how to develop the leader within. And I say that, you know, with all of the things that you've done, you know, in starting the magazine and getting into these pillars and things, how do you balance? You know, because you're busy, you know, when you're doing philanthropy, when you're doing, you know, trying to maintain the magazine, maintain the academy, maintain all of the other things that you're doing, because you didn't just stop. You continue to pursue and level up, you know, into different arenas as you meet different people. But how do you balance, you know, for people who are trying to juggle it all and trying to, you know, be that woman?
Yeah, I think it's so important. I had to learn this the hard way. Is one of the lessons that I'm still learning, and that is when you just say stop. You know, because it will have an effect on you if you're not able to rest, if you're not able to have that balance. You know, I'm a single mother. My daughter was 5 years old when I started this journey. So again, you know, I had to balance being a great mom. I had to balance being a great leader. I had to balance being a good daughter and sister and friend, you know. So even outside of the business stuff, you have your family, right? Who you know, my family said, I just want Angie. I don't want Dr. A. Okay, not today. You know, so you're constantly balancing. And so one of the things is, even right now, because this event is so important to me, I'm actually on a 90-day rest right now, where I'll come back pretty much, start moving actively, preparing for 2022, somewhere around mid-February. So at times like that, and the reason I'm able to do that, I haven't always been able to do that, Angela, but I've been able to do that because now I have such a strong, solid leadership team, and they're able to bring their expertise as leaders to the organization and be able to volunteer and lead based upon their own expertise, naming new CEOs. So 2021 was a great year. I was able to name a new CEO to our organization, and so it's working, honey. But it wasn't always like that, and in those times where that team had not shown up, I would just keep going. And when I needed to rest, I rested. And when I need to turn my phone off, like here's a quick strategy for somebody, right? I'm gonna share this, you know, just Dr. A, right? So every morning I have my phone on Do Not Disturb automatically every day till 11 o'clock. Now I can see the calls come in, but when I wake up, because a lot of times I'm working through the night. If you're an entrepreneur, most of the time you up through the night. But that gives you time to wake up. That gives you time to kind of really meditate, talk with God, eat you some breakfast before you're just jumping in there on the phone. Especially with me, you know, we're on Central, we're on Eastern, and we're now heavy on Pacific. So we're in all of these time zones. And so it really does have an effect on you, where you got to be able to have that balance. You know, you got to know when to rest.
Yeah. And that's so important, because in a society where it's always about the hustle and the grind, there's like rise and grind, or,
Yeah.
The hustle is real. But bottom line, if you are hustling and grinding all the time, you run yourself raggedy to the
Yes.
point that you really can't be as effective as you need to be. So,
Absolutely.
and I'm glad you shared that, because coming from a person who does a lot, for you to say rest, that's very important. So I want to get back, because again, we're talking about you being a SheEO honoree, a recipient of the Excellence in Wealth Award. Define wealth for us.
I think it goes along with everything else. When we talk about excellence, wealth is also a mindset. There was this one book that I actually studied. It was actually called Bridges Out of Poverty. So anyone that does any kind of work with community, especially grassroots, I advise them to go read it. So it just talks about how one person didn't even feel like they need a driver's license, how another person didn't even feel like they had a bank account. They just felt like it was okay to go to Quick Cash or whatever and cash their checks, right? So all of these things, literally, they divide us into these different categories. And based upon what's happening now with the value of the dollar and now the digital world, like, when COVID-19 came in here, we were, we was accelerated into it. Like it was like a warp time zone thing that we went through. And so now it's critical for you to have that mindset of wealth, and that is to be able to leave legacy.
Right.
Yeah, it's the ability to be able to leave legacy. It's the ability to be able to understand that you retiring. How many people now dream of retiring and there's no retirement, or the infrastructure of Social Security isn't there? So we have to shift mentally, and that's what excellence is as well. It's giving you the ability to mindset. Maybe you didn't get it from your family. Maybe you didn't even get it from your friends. But you need to be able, you got to hold your own self accountable to be able to connect with those individuals who are going to begin to take you through the stages of moving from that poverty mindset into a place of wealth, because it's going to happen in your mind, and it's going to happen in your behaviors before it shows up in your bank account.
That's so powerful. And I love that you said that, because it is about a mindset. I'm seeing Charlotte coming in saying, hey, ladies, thank you for tuning in, ma'am. So, yes, because I speak a lot about empowerment, and I talk about an empowered mindset, and you've got to think of abundance versus lack. And a lot of times as we're moving, most of the conversation, you may think you're positive and you may think you're moving in one direction, but you're speaking and your mindset is still stuck in that lack place. And so you got to switch over to wealth in order to start attracting the things that you want to have.
Come on with it.
Yes, absolutely. So I want to read a piece of this. Dr. Banks is recognized for her philanthropic works through Xcellence Inc., a 501c3 tax-exempt community leadership organization. Under the organization umbrella are these entities: Xcellence Community University, Xcellence Community Magazine, and currently in the chartering process is Xcellence Community Credit Union. Baby, that is a game changer.
Yes.
I've been waiting the whole talk for that, girl. You just feel some things in, because I want to get to the credit union. I want to talk about the boss moves it takes for. Listen, that's a not drop the mic. That's just a throw the mic. You just throw the mic on out the way and be like, listen.
Yes.
How did you? Because I'm telling you, like, that to me is so exciting to see one of us.
Yes.
A beautiful Black woman who can position herself to charter a credit union. Tell us, where did the seed for that even start?
Again, I'm telling you, when I say I just move under God, let me tell you, you're going to ask me, so I'm going to give you the quickest version of this. So I've done it all. If God tell me to do it, I'll do it. I even ran for mayor in my hometown. Okay. And they're like, what? Like, so I'm telling you, I just do it. But, shortly after that, and of course, I didn't win. And my prayer was like, oh, you got me to do this, because I don't want to be nobody mayor. And I think I'm more powerful than the mayor. That's why I didn't want it. Okay.
Look, y'all he was like, your territory is too large for that.
Yes. And so what happened was, me and my assistant, we were just kind of, writing down, the different entities of excellence and the different things God has gave me. And when I got to the end of listing all of those, some of the entities you just named, it was like poof. It was like this literally had happened, and I heard credit union, and I was like, what? And what happened is, Angela, I immediately began to cry. Because let me tell you why. I don't know if you caught at the beginning when we began to interview that I said that I was in the corporate America 15, 16 years, and that I was managing Regions Bank when I quit for Xcellence.
Yes.
And so what happened was I started to cry in that moment because I understood that the reason I had to leave that industry and I had to go build, because God was going to bring everything back full circle. So whereas I thought that part of my life was done, okay, I'm just over here in, philanthropic works, nonprofit, community, grassroots, this is my new life. God like, no, I just had to park you and then had you go build at that particular time 10 years, and then let you see how I was going to bring this thing full circle for you. And so that's truly how it started. And I think I think last year we began meeting and building, and I still was like, what? but I am in.
Are you sure, God? Yes.
I am in it now. The website is up. We're actively, campaigning to raise the funds for it. I'm going through the different approvals. We've already reached a different couple levels of approvals. And so this, like you said, this is major for us as a community to have an organization who focuses on leadership, who focus on community, who focus on grassroots, who didn't come from a family with a silver spoon. Matter of fact, neither my mom or dad graduated from high school. So when we talk about the American dream, hey, listen, I'm so glad that God chose me. And again, every area where I see lack, every area where I see we need to level up or we need access to it, God has been able to bless me to build it. So I'm super excited about it.
That's so amazing, as you should be. And hats off to you and your team for making that happen. I tell you, it really takes a lot. And so I do want to, really tell people, really connect with Dr. Banks and get with excellenceinc.org. Find out how you can get tapped in to plug into your leadership abilities. Find out how you can get connected to get involved with different projects that she's doing, how to develop the leader in you, because we need more people who are making these types of moves. I recently, over the weekend, I found out they were doing I guess a Black Wall Street type of venture. It's a mall area, where they have all the different, Black businesses here in Stonecrest, in Atlanta. And so I thought this so beautiful, to see people who are actually physically putting it together and calling it that, and to really think that now is the time for expansion. So if you have it here, it needs to multiply all over the world, so they can see what we're doing. But it also starts with what you're doing as well, is doing credit unions, to have the face of us so we can start seeing, because our kids have always in history books seen someone else do things. It's our time to start seeing. It's our time. And so, for everybody, find out what you can do to get connected. Find out what you can do to start, like you say, when you see areas of like, it is about being obedient to what God says. And I love that, you've used that example over and over tonight about just hearing what he said and just being obedient to it, and the word says obedience is better than sacrifice. So if you just listen to what he tells you, and so many times, we let fear stand in our way. So many times, we feel like I'm not worthy. I like you said, I wasn't born with a silver spoon in my mouth. I wasn't born with opportunities like other people have, but yet and still, you've pushed past those barriers. So what do you want to say? Yeah, what would you like to say to somebody who is really contemplating how can they make these kind of boss moves like you've done?
I would say to definitely, number one, pray, and then secondly, I use the word just be obedient to whatever that is. It doesn't matter what your bank account look like. It doesn't matter about who you know. It doesn't even matter about where you are. You may be looking across the street saying there's no way, but the thing is that where there is a vision, there is provision. And as you walk in it, and as you connect, and as you have the faith, in one of my books, I say, you got to see it before you see it. And then, I always just tell them, Fear will stop you. It's one of the things I teach in when my spiritual leadership courses, certified spiritual coach, is that, the thing is that fear will stop you.
Yeah.
But just do it afraid. Just do it afraid. It
Yeah.
doesn't mean you can't be afraid while doing it. But at the end of the day, you got to do it because you're going to be held accountable. And the other thing is that, I love the fact that I can be a celebrity in my own community.
Mm-hmm.
That I can be the person that says, I may not have access to Oprah, but I got access to Dr. A. And so individuals can look across the room and they can see you and they can see Kelly and the way that we rise up and the way that we stand and the way that we fight, because it is a fight. It's not easy. Nothing about this is easy. Of course, we get on camera, we look all cute and glammed up and show up for events and all that. But at the end of the day, you can best believe that there is a fight happening behind the scenes for that individual to keep pressing and keep pushing. And that's the reason why we do the call to excellence. That's the reason why we say, don't leave us out here all alone. Yeah. Them days are over. If change is going to happen, it's going to happen because we decided we need to come together and lock arms and get it done. And so that's what I would say to individuals. Just do it afraid and dream big. At the end of the day, that comes directly from Ephesians 3:20, more than you can ever think or imagine. So just dream big, allow yourself to go there. When we look at individuals in history, Steve Jobs, right? You're going to be on your computer is going to be on your phone. That man was dreaming big.
Yes.
The lights and all that other kind of stuff. Somebody saw it and somebody went to work and someone began to build. So I'm going to call not only the dreamer in you, I'm going to call the builder in you to come forth.
Yes, y'all better see the call to action, call to the dreamer, call to the builder. And we all have it inside of us. God put things inside of us waiting for someone to, initiate that spark so that you can move forward. And so for a lot of people, if you start seeing people who are not doing anything, you can't stay around stagnant individuals. You've got to move, and it may be someone that you love. It may be someone that, is in your family. But if God has called you to more, you've got to separate yourself and find the people that you can connect to that's going to allow you to be bold, be big, go out and dream bigger because it's out there for you.
Yes.
So, Dr. A, how anything else that you want to leave the people with, whether it's about the awards you're getting ready to accept on Saturday or about what you're currently doing, or is there something else that, because I'm thinking the credit union is everything. Honey. Listen, you might be up there getting ready to do something even beyond that. You might be like, this is smooth right here. That's spring of 2022, honey, and 2025. I'm doing this. Listen, are you getting ready to do a rocket ship up to space or something? Listen, are we going to be on Dr. A's rocket ship, on the move somewhere?
Listen, I do have that private jet, honey, on my list. I'm trying to tell you, y'all better come join me. But one of the things I will say in closing, again, we have a building in Tennessee. We're in renovation where we're truly working to launch the Excel for Life e-centers, where those are going to be a combination bridge community centers, which have been on decline, and business centers, merge them together in our community. So we're in renovations for that. So, these dollars, I'm not the person out there doing a fundraiser for fish fries. I'm not knocking that. That's just not my thing. But I'm literally trying to have impact in the community. And one of the things that I even share with Kelly tonight is that this is a mic drop, is that Kelly's going to be making a post. Look for the post, because one of the things that I am going to be sharing is that as I come in, because I'm part of the core leadership team of a company out of California, and they are tapping into the actual cryptocurrency industry. And you're able to accrue these actual tokens for free. And these tokens are actually even being exchanged already on Coinbase. You're able to look the company up. So everybody that download this app, actually, we're going to bless Kelly with a couple thousands, 100,000s that she's going to be able to distribute those to individuals just for downloading the app. It's going to automatically show up on your phone. And then you're going to be able to get them every day thereafter by simply hitting a button. So I'm telling you, major things. I love the fact that I am future.
Yes, cutting edge, baby. Listen, honey, look, when they say movers and shakers, child, you done moved and shook them on out the way, honey, and cut, look, did the cutting edge thing. And but it's so powerful, it's so amazing, it's so exciting, because you're thinking on a different level, you're dreaming on a different level, and it gives inspiration and hope. Look, thank you, Priscilla. Like, wow. Yes, look, mouth, not mic drop, mouth drop, like, whoa.
Well, we talked about wealth, right? So I can't get a wealth award if I'm not trying to lead us to the money, right? As they say, not only show me the money, but give me the money. Put the money. This is a good one. Y'all take and put this in your comment. I say, God, take the wealth of the land and put it in my hand. So y'all can say, y'all just quote Dr. A, right? Take the wealth of the land and put it in my hand.
Priscilla, can somebody put that in the chat for us? I take the wealth of the land and put it in my hand.
Yes.
Dr. A has showed out officially tonight. And I love it. Listen, when we thought we were not going to get blown away anymore, because I thought the credit union thing, I was just like on pins and needles, like, baby, I want to just come on, Dr. A, I don't even know what you're talking about. I just want to get to the credit union. And here she gonna come talking about some crypto, and they're gonna do an app and just hit the button.
Get these tokens. You're going to be able to get these tokens every day for free, and just build them up. And the goal is that you really need to get to a point of 1 million, because as this token grow, you're going to be able to just for free. I try to go to the free for everybody. Join X is for free. Download this app for free. Get these tokens for free. And I'm telling you, that's why I'm not worried about being blessed. I'm abundantly blessed because I'm always pouring, and the seed is a seed of knowledge for me. And so I love it. And I'm just excited for all of us. I want to see everybody winning.
That's a beautiful thing. And that is exactly why you're blessed like you are. That's exactly why God, because he can trust you with what he gives you, And so that is so huge, honey. Priscilla, yes, baby, be obedient, baby. She said, honey, take the wealth of the land and put it in my hand. That's a Dr. A-ism. So we need to make sure we stay on top of that. Thank you, Priscilla. She said, I am a sponge soaking it all up. Yes, honey. Me and you both, listen, Dr. A, stay on here when we get off, because listen, we need to make sure we maintain this connection. I'm just super excited. I'm really grateful for the opportunity to be able to have you on the platform. Super excited about the award you're going to receive on Saturday. It is most definitely well-deserved. And pray that God continues to enlarge your territory, open up doors of opportunity for you to continue to break down. And I love what you said about, you may not be Oprah, but to somebody you are a celebrity. And so if everybody can shift their thinking, sometimes people want to go for the top person that you think everybody knows, but sometimes you're all of that and more to somebody else. So we miss sight of, trying to go for one thing when God is saying, I'm giving you even more if you can just be mindful of who's looking at you right now. And so, yes, thank you for being that person in our community who we know, who we can look at and say, hey, Dr. A, well, we can get in and find out about Xcellence Inc, and do some things. So I love it. It's on the site. They can get books that you've written, correct? They can get information about the academy, the magazine, everything is laid out there, correct?
Yes. So just go to, I always drive everybody to our corporate website, but of course there, you can find out more about me. You'll see all my, my books and stuff on my personal site, because everything is, so big, right? But yeah, you'll be able to lead there. As a matter of fact, once you fill out that application, you're going to start to get a wealth of knowledge about each of our divisions automatically as it go through our actual email marketing system. So there's no way once you do the application, you're going to be able to get the information and the websites and everything immediately. And one of the things that I wanted to say in my closing, Angela, that you brought out, so this is on my heart to say, when we talked about, Oprah, but then there's you, there's Kelly, there's myself, there's many others. Is it Pamela that's on? There's many others. And the thing is that I tell people, don't dishonor access. You don't know who is in your circle. You don't know why you're giving access. But I always tell them, anytime God is getting ready to bless you, it's going to come through a person.
Absolutely.
So, so that's what I wanted to definitely just say, you know, in my closing. Don't overlook people, because you never know who God is blessed to come into your life and come into your circle, who's getting ready to open you up to a whole nother level of knowledge, information, access. So don't dishonor access, people. That's what I would say.
That's good, honey. Listen, she done dropped a whole nugget on you guys. You better catch it. Look, that might be better than the crypto or the credit union. You better catch that one, because I'm saying, I say that because when you think about it, coming from a small town like Brownsville, Tennessee, you know, like I said, my mom, them, you know, grew up, my grandparents, you know, from the area. And a lot of times people don't think, you know, they're expecting you to come from the Atlanta or Houston or, you know, New York or whatever, you know, to respect it.
Yes.
But at the end of the day, you don't ever know who God is going to use to bless you. So I love that you said don't disrespect the access, because right now is a prime time. And I really believe that going through COVID, going through that pandemic period, it shifted. And so now you don't know who God has positioned to raise up during this shift when, you know, things were shutting down. It seemed like it was shutting down, but for a lot of people, they were making moves that's going to cause them to rise up in a mighty way. So you better, this is right here. If you didn't see it, you better tag somebody and tell them to come back and look at it and catch the nuggets that Dr. A has left. Connect with her on her platform. Follow her, get connected with this app that Kelly's going to do. Farika says, totally agree. Absolutely. People need to make sure, because sometimes you just kind of overlook. It's just like, oh, yeah, they're probably, you know, I'll catch it and never catch it. This is one for the books. This is one where you need to really pay attention. Come on, Priscilla's in the background. Don't disrespect the actress. Priscilla says she is not missing on a thing, baby. Come on, Priscilla. Yes.
Thank you, Priscilla.
Yes, I love it. I love it. Dr. A, I so look forward to seeing you on Saturday to receiving the award. Thank you so much for even just giving us another reason to continue to dream big and see the possibilities, because they are there. And so we appreciate you for all that you do. And I thank you again. Is there anything else you want to say before we exit?
No, just go join Xcellence and just know that I'm cheering for you. And if ain't nobody else told you, I'm proud of you. Just keep on doing you. Keep on being great.
Amen. Amen. Well, again, listen, Priscilla said, I'm going to be watching the replay again. Just as a reminder. Priscilla, I love it. Listen, Priscilla said, listen, I'm not letting no grass grow under my feet. I'm going to get everything that I can get. Listen, because you'll be following Dr. A's footsteps, open up on your own credit union or doing something major. So listen. Hey, it just takes one person to show the way, and if everybody follow it, because you see Steve Jobs did his thing, but people coming behind doing their thing, modeling after him. So listen, you just need some. Look, Farika said, "LOL, me too."
That's right.
Love it, ladies. Love it. Listen, Dr. A, y'all make sure you go and follow her. She is a person to watch. I'm telling you, you know, while we're talking about Oprah and Dr. A, they're in the same sentence for a reason, because she's out here doing amazing things. So she will be on the $1 billion lady list here pretty soon, I'm sure. So
I received that.
Yes, ma'am. All right,
I can't wait to see y'all Saturday.
I know, right? Yay! All right, ladies. So you guys take care. We will see you again soon. And if you have not registered, make sure that you connect with the SheEO district for the conference that's happening this weekend. So it's December the 10th and 11th. Make sure you come out. We are going to have a blast doing major things. I'm going to cut to this commercial, and then we're going to go ahead and end for the night. But you guys have a phenomenal night. Dr. A, I'll talk to you soon. Hold on one second. Listen, I thought I hit the wrong one. Wait a minute. Got excited there, girl. Ready to come back and look at my own broadcast. Look at look at my own replay. Let me see that I have it in here. I thought I had it in here. Did we move it out? If not, I'm gonna make sure I bring it back in, because I want you guys to catch it. But definitely go to the SheEO district, go to SheEOconference.com so that you can follow up and get your tickets, so you can meet the beautiful Dr. A and all the other recipients who will be there for this phenomenal SheEO conference. So you guys, again, take care and be blessed, and we will see you hopefully over the weekend. All right, bye-bye.